Hello everyone, welcome to The Light Renegades. My name is Starr, and today I have another message for you from Brittany Murphy. I've been channeling Brit for about a year, over a year now in my personal spaces, but about 6 months on this channel. So for those that have arrived here for the first time, none of this might make any sense to you, so you might want to start at the very beginning of this series, or you might want to go right back and watch the very first video that I created to just give you a feel of what this channel is all about, why we are here, and yeah, to get you started. I think that there is a lot happening, there is a lot of shifts happening within the galactic realms, within this planetary system, and I think that's why a lot of you are here. You're waking up again now, and yeah, now's the time for you to reestablish yourself in the new truths of this world, and that's very much what this message from Brit today was about. Kind of a shift of gears from last message to those that are in real time. We are going back to more of a broader scope of what is going on, and I did manage to get a bit more time with Brit today to kind of understand where we are heading with the messages with her, and yeah, of course, you know, the full acknowledgement that this is about the disclosure of the reptilian order, and yeah, the icky bits of life that we find ourselves trapped in at this time and trying to break free from, everyone. So yeah, today's message is a lot lighter than the last, so it's okay for you to be here. I think for those that might be still in a sensitive space, but I think there is just a lot to take away from this message. I realize that when Brit comes forward, you know, she says so much without saying too much, if that makes any sense. And it's very much a different energy from when I was channeling Jeffrey Epstein. If you feel called to be going on through that, I guess, pathway, that challenging time, then you might want to start that series. And same with Diana. Diana came through with a lot of information, and she says so much just through her energy, whereas I think Brit has a lot that comes forward in her words, and then it's afterwards that I start to kind of really digest what was been said and what has been spoken to me. And you know, I realize that she says so much, saying so little and so simply, I think is what I want to share. So come back to these messages, everyone. I think it's really easy to, you know, think we've heard the message and to just be moving on from it, but if you feel called to watch this a few times over, then please do, because I think the more that you sit with it, the more you kind of gain from these messages and these energies. And you know, Brit's energy comes in when I'm speaking. You know, you hear her accent come in, that's when her energy is aligning with mine, that's when she's, you know, I guess technically in my physical vessel. It's not like I feel her completely, you know, in my body, but I feel her in my energy field, which is why, you know, my accent sort of changes to my dismay. But yeah, I think this is just a recognition of taking the time to sit with these messages, everyone, and allowing yourself to digest everything that comes through, and you know, to keep coming back to this understanding that we are constantly growing, we are constantly evolving, and there is no right way to do this. There is no right way to ascend. There is no right way for your path to look at this time, and especially now that everything is changing so rapidly and so chaotically, a lot of the energy. So cut yourself some slack, give yourself, you know, the grace to be healing and to be growing, and that to be a space of being okay. We do not support, you know, toxic positivity or perfectionism on this channel, and I will keep reiterating that there is no such thing as perfect, but as you are right now, you know, exactly as you find yourself right now is as perfect as it can get, everyone. So yeah, take the time with this message today. I think that yeah, it came with a lot for me to digest in my own, you know, life and my own processes. And yeah, I will speak a little bit more about all of this at the end. But today's message from Brit was titled Hollywood Hopes, and she started with, "Hello, dear souls. I'm glad to be back again, sharing with you all. My last message, I know, left some perplexed. There was so much to understand of the others of this world. Yet I feel now the biggest picture to paint is that of control. How you are being controlled on a daily basis. I know it seems so simple. We know, we've heard it all before. But have you really taken the time to truly look at it all? The industry I was in alone has been created to take your power away from you. Give you idols, giving you your self-image and self-worth on a big screen. These ideals being played out on a smaller scale on your televisions. It's all a form of manipulation, and one I too fell for a time. Remember, I was a little girl with big dreams of being a star. I look back now, thinking about what that all truly meant for me at the time, what I was searching for. I was seeking acceptance. I was seeking recognition. I was seeking money and a life of luxury, which I felt could only be attained through this pathway. I know I was born to entertain. I have to at least cut myself some slack there. It was my path to walk this exact way, of course. But looking back now, I can see what it all truly meant, the lessons in it all. I bring this forward today so that you can take a look at it all too. The industry, what they push is toxic, toxic, toxic. Toxic love, toxic lifestyles, toxic beauty standards, and this idea that you aren't worthy. To create a star is to create a product. Remember, this is an ideal that isn't attainable, nor should it be idolized. The industry was created to take you away from your life, to make you feel like you weren't worthy, or that you weren't perfect in some way, like these stars. It has been years and years and years worth of programming and conditioning to keep the human race small and otherwise inferior. There is so much you must hold close to your hearts, especially at this time. To be you is magnificent. To be you is the most magical thing imaginable. To be you exactly as you are is a gift and a miracle. You hold the keys to this universe, each and every one of you. This is why they had to work so hard to make you believe that you weren't worthy. It worked for a time, but the false masks are coming off. The truth is coming to light, and I couldn't be happier to see each and every one of you stepping forward and shining. I know my last message gave you a kick up the behind. For some, I'm sorry, but it was time. I know you are all ready for what's to come. You have made it this far through sheer determination and the knowing in your hearts, so keep at it. Work every day to keep your light shining no matter what. That is the biggest challenge you face right now, keeping your energy high and in flow. Please look around. Read out the programming because it's there. It's in all of you. Say no, turn away. Come back to your hearts because they should be leading the way. I will be back tomorrow with more Brit. Short and sweet from Brit today, though I did get a little bit more time with her in my own personal space. And, I think that we are coming to a time where things are going to change, everyone. I'm really starting to feel it in my own personal space and in my own expanse. I feel like I've been turned up by 1,000, and I know that we are coming to a time where this galactic life is going to be met with where we find ourselves right now in our physical plane of existence. And I don't know exactly how that's going to look. I don't think it would be possible for us to know exactly how that's going to look, because I just don't think it would be safe either. I think this is another thing I'm starting to understand, is that we are kept in the dark so that we can experience this in the real time, and so that it's manageable for us. And I understand, sometimes where I've been held back in my journey, sometimes where I haven't been allowed to see the full everything, because it would have hindered the way that I moved and the way that I processed. And where I find myself now, I understand if I'd known too much then, it would have hindered the finished product, is what I want to share, everyone. And this message from Brit today is definitely a message so that we can stop and take a look at where we might have been programmed by the system. And it is so subtle, and it's been there for our entire lives. The imagery that we see, the movies that we watch, the music that we listen to. And it's really funny because I kept saying I don't know why I'm being met with this kind of celebrity lifestyle, or speaking with that of the stars. But actually my whole entire life was very much centered around a lot of the movie industry. I'm a big, massive filmie, and I studied film at university way back when. And actually my whole life was melded to movies, is what I want to say. I was very much a product of the media, and my energies felt most at home aligning to certain frequencies, aligning to certain movies. And that was my world. And I realized that me being who I am now, understanding who I am now, is that this life didn't make any sense to me. So popping myself directly into a movie and completely immersing myself in that energy was my escapism from this life. And I had some very warped perceptions of a lot of things from, you know, focusing a lot of my time on movies as escapism and not, you know, being here. And I think it's really easy to get distracted from our life. It's really easy to get wrapped up in the next bit rather than really experiencing where we are. And especially us that, you know, deal with a lot of pain in our lives, I definitely know that movies saved my life, music saved my life. And I would share this way back when I had no idea of this full expanse that I'm sat in right now. And, you know, there are certain albums, there are certain artists that I could literally thank and say, you know, you're the reason that I'm still alive, because it's just it's an all-encompassing feeling, you know, to really love a movie and sit and watch it and, you know, be immersed in that energy, and to find a piece of music that really resonates with you, like, you know, your soul, and for that to be an immersive experience. But what we're experiencing right now is that there is so much out there that is screaming out to us and pulling on our shadow, pulling at our darkness, pulling at the aspects of self that makes us feel unworthy. And, you know, I'm trying to imagine the strength of that I felt in a positive light is the exact same of the negative that we've been experiencing on a much more unnoticeable level, because we've been manipulated from the minute we pop out at birth, everyone. And, you know, this message is a take a look around at what you believe in, what you think about yourself, and what you believe to be, you know, the perfect way to live. I think this is what Brit is coming forward with, is these ideals that we have, these, you know, hideously toxic standards that we put on ourselves, and how we should be behaving, how we should be living our lives, what we should be attaining and, you know, achieving right now. And I think some of you are just on the cusp of really truly letting go of that, letting go of the past, letting go of this manipulation, and allowing yourself to step forward in your soul, in your light, and more of your celestial body. And Brit definitely came through with more of this starseed, this more galactic energy, and this happened, you know, when channeling Jeffrey Epstein and Diana as well. And I think there is just this higher level that you attain once you reach the other side. It's like you release from all of that program, so this really high vibrational energy comes in, and that's what we're trying to access before we reach the other side, everyone. We're trying to bring in that energy now and deprogram ourselves from all of this insanity that we find ourselves in. And, you know, I think it is a hideous time where we find ourselves right now, and I really, really, really feel for the younger generations and what they've already experienced. You know, I think that there was a lot of toxicity out there when I was a little bit younger, but especially now, I don't think I would have survived, to be honest, everyone. You know, with my sensitive soul, I think there is just so much out there in this. You're not allowed to be a child. That has been very much taken away from us every year that rolls by, but specifically with the last generation, I think it has just been so hideously controlled to take children out of a space of being children. And yeah, I think that's been the saddest thing to acknowledge. I think today is sat with this energy, sat with this message, and just to understand that, you know, to be you is magical, and there is so much out there to experience, but to be experiencing yourself and, you know, those around you at this time exactly as they are is a gift. And I'm having to, you know, bring myself back down as well. And I was having really great conversation yesterday with another really expansive soul, and this idea of, you know, we've been living up here for some time because I had to move, my energy had to reach up here so that I could understand all of these messages that I'm bringing through. But now I'm having to filter this back down and bring it back down to the 3D so that I can integrate it, so that I can make it make sense, you know, to those that might be at the start of their journey. And, you know, it's brought me such happiness and such comfort to see those, you know, first stepping forward on that path, and to be that person that they can step forward towards, because, you know, it can be incredibly scary and isolating time when you first wake up to all of this, because it just feels too much. And, you know, I think that most of you here are already on your expansive path, so how can you be helping those, you know, around you at this time and make that be manageable for them? And yeah, to keep shining your light. That is the biggest thing that we face right now. And this is what, you know, those powers that be out there don't want us to do. They don't want us to be shining. They don't want us to be sharing our voice, because that is the true power of this world. We are the superheroes. We are, you know, the stars within ourselves. We hold the stars within our own bodies. You know, this idea of our crystalline bodies is what these things want. You know, they they aren't in the capacity to be holding as much light as we can, and this is why they try and take it from us. This is why they try and stifle it from us. This is why they try and make us believe that we aren't worthy, because actually we are the most powerful out here right now. And remember that, everyone, there are galactic beings absolutely grappling over themselves to have, a human body, a human avatar right now, so that they can be here experiencing this. And when I've been in my darkest ebbs, this is the last thing I wanted to hear from my guides. And I just think, gosh, it's a real struggle down here already, without thinking, as soon as I potentially would get back, I would just want to be back here again. That's something that my guides push forward within this when it gets tricky, when it gets difficult, when I'm in the most amount of despair sometimes, which I still find myself in time and time again. There was ebbs and flows to this journey, but it's just this reminder that I came here to experience this, to be here to fight this, to be shining my light, because my light is important, and it's just the way that your light is important to everyone. So remember that. Keep coming back to yourself, keep coming back to your heart, and sharing your heart and your light with others. No matter what anyone else is saying, it is all just projection, it is all shadow. Don't take things personally. Allow people to grow in their own time, but keep shining your light no matter what is happening. And take a look around. What things might have you let attach to you from, the way that the media portrays something? How might this be affecting how you live your life, or how you think you should be living your life? And try and peel that back, everyone. And just take the time every day to check in with self and to understand, your upsets, your fears, your desires, and where they truly come from. Are they coming from ego? Are they coming from this mass manipulation that we've been sat in for the entirety of our lives? Because I think a lot of the answers stem in that. And I really had to take a good, deep, hard look at myself today from this message with Brit. And I thought, there is still some work for me to do, everyone, and it's not to point fingers. It's not to say that, we are wrong, but it's just where we find ourselves. We've been programmed. We've been manipulated. We need to deprogram that. We need to demystify, this idea of what the perfect human / hybrid human looks like right now, especially. And I think we're having to give each other a lot of empathy and sympathy, and especially to ourselves. So come back to that self-care, everyone, because I think it's integral where I find ourselves right now. But I'll be back tomorrow with Brit. But take care for now, everyone.